Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. My name is Joy and this is Forethought, and today's reading we're going to look at the question of what impact do I have on others? So there are 4 piles to choose from today. We have pile 1 with this pyrite. We have pile 2 with this Amazonite. We have pile 3 with this moon-shaped agate. And we have pile 4 with this serpentine. Alright, you can meditate here to get a feel for your pile. Each pile crystal has like a card to kind of correspond with your own energy of right now, so you'll know this is your pile based off of that. Yeah, so if you want to, you can pause here, but if you already know what you want for your pile, what pile you want to choose, I'll meet you at your reading. Hi, pile 1. If you've chosen this pyrite, then this is your reading. So this card is going to be our energy check-in, and then we're going to go right into the question of how do I impact others? / what impact do I have on others? Okay, anyways, so your current energy is this Moon Maiden New Beginnings card. So currently you are going through, well, I guess if you're watching the time that this is uploaded, it is close to the new year, beginning of January, depending on how you celebrate what your new year is. So I know some people celebrate closer to the spring equinox. So, you know, whatever you're going through right now, it has to be dealing with new beginnings. Again, you might have started a new year, you might have started a new job, you might have started a new hobby, skill, something that really like helps you connect with your inner self, though. Something that really helps you connect with kind of your more emotional state. That's where your new beginning lies. Something that makes you feel a little bit more cared for, a little bit more at peace, something holding you to force, like it's kind of that space where you can really feel all your emotions. That's also what's coming up in regards to the new beginning that you may be having at this point in time. Just know that this new beginning is also a very protective one, where if you believe in protective angels, if you are leading a more angelic life, as in the choices and the decisions that you're making are more in line with doing what's best for yourself and others, doing what you deem as good, you know? Yeah, so if that sounds like you, if you sound like you're going through something new right now, if you're having also this new emotional beginning of taking care of yourself and your emotions a bit more, then this is your reading. Yeah. Okay. So what impact does my pyrite pile have on others? What impact? You have Athena strategy. What impact does my pyrite pile have on others? You have Sheila Nagev, Gateways. You have Closing Door, Completion. And you also have Straddling Worlds and Limitless Possibilities. And we're going to pull three more cards for my pyrite pile. You have the Shug Knight. I also want to say thank you for being here, Pirate Pile. Thank you for sharing your voice energy by viewing this, liking this, subscribing down below. Really helps me out. Helps me do something that I love. And I hope that you love too. Alright. And then you also have the School of Sight. And we're going to get a little deeper after these initial pulls. So, it feels like the impact that you have on others is that you're very transformational. Very transformational. You help them usher in new beginnings, which is kind of ironic because what you're going through right now should be a new beginning, but what you also do on others and the impact that you have on others right now is also helping them transition through a new beginning. It feels like with your mind and the way you like to operate, the way you kind of plan things out, the way you strategize, it is really helpful for others who are not as great at doing that kind of organizational tasks. It feels like you're able to put the bigger picture into more digestible, easier steps for every day to make a transition happen. And what does that mean? That because that's very ambiguous. This can mean in more of a sense of like, say that you have a friend moving in a few months and they know they're moving, but they don't know how to really plan for that move. You would be someone to kind of help them month by month in regards to getting everything they need organized, all the documents they need for when they go on time, making sure that any living arrangements are taken care of, stuff like that. You know, you'd be able to kind of have the more what you should be doing month by month plan for a move. You have the more strategic way of thinking in regards to making sure everything is taken care of. Very analytical, very I want to say micromanaging, but in the best way possible, in the sense of that you can take care of every single little detail that needs to be taken care of, and make sure that you leave nothing out. Anything that's important to a project, you'll make sure that it is taken care of, that it is remembered, that it is included in the project. And I think it's really valuable for you to know that the impact that you have on others is making sure that they have more smoother transitions. Oh, yeah. You also help others in regards to closing out cycles as well. You might be the friend that people go to when they're going through a breakup and you're a great shoulder to cry on. You help them kind of see what's ahead, what's in the future, and how much possibilities that the future can hold. now that the door has completed, now that the thing has ended for that friend. Okay, so from the Shunite and this Scolasite, it really feels like you're someone who is both healing and purifying, as well as someone who's very chill, who's very comfortable to be around. Like, people don't feel judgment when they're around you. People feel very much cleansed. It's like they're going to a spa whenever they see you. It feels like you're someone who energetically can kind of understand what's going on and not stress over it. And it's not like things don't stress you out from time to time. It's that you have a better grasp than most in being able to handle high levels of stress and making sure, again, this is why I feel like the impact that you do have on others is that you'll find that you are in situations where you help people transition, whether that be a job, whether that be with your friends, whether that be in your own life, with your family. You'll find that you are normally in situations that are ending, closing out. In a job, this looks like a manager leaving. And then you're also there for times where there's a new beginning and kind of shifting the tone to a new beginning, to a new kind of season, a new kind of way of doing things. And again, using the same example, that would look like a new manager coming in. You're kind of that person that like helps bridge the two. The impact that you have on others definitely makes them feel like you're in a very transitional part of their life. Okay. What other things, what other impacts does my pile lens? What do you need to forgive your caregivers or siblings for? Yeah, it feels like you're someone who helps people forgive themselves as well as their past. And you kind of help fill that role of caregiving for others. And you give out this kind of very encouraging, very loving, very caring kind of energy, kind of like a best friend, like a really old best friend. It just kind of feels like a warm hug when people are around you. So that's why you make transitions easier. It's a lot more comfortable to have changes when you're around, because your optimism makes change look like and feel like a very natural part of life. And I know a lot of people sometimes are afraid of change. They don't like change. So you're kind of a stronghold, kind of beacon for people to kind of feel a little bit more comfortable in what's happening in those changes. Okay. What impact does Pile 1 have on others? You have the 10 of Wands. You also have the 10 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Swords. Yeah, like I said earlier, things that deal with heartbreak or hard work, home life, it feels like whenever you do come into someone's life, there's like a completed kind of energy. Like, the impact that you have on others is that, like, when you are in their lives, you'll notice that they've up-leveled, that they've grown, that they've changed. And a part of that is because of your influence on them. It feels like they feel a lot more secure. They feel a lot more mended. They feel a lot more held and inspired by you. It feels like you're someone who kind of makes them think about their life and what they want out of life and the security that they want to feel in life. And they use you as an inspiration to do better, to make better choices, to, again, because you have a very wise mind in regards to how you take care of things on a day-to-day level, how you break down bigger projects into smaller ones, the way that you can organize yourself. It really impacts others because people then kind of see you as an inspiration to do the same with their life and improve it that way and see, oh, maybe I can do the goals that I wrote down because I have someone who holds me accountable. Stuff like that, you know? The impact that you have on other people's lives is very positive. It feels like it is, for some people, depending on how close they are to you, it definitely feels like you might be a symbol for change. And because of that, it can trigger people who don't like change, but it also can help those who are aware enough to see the betterment that happens within their lives. This is giving me very Virgo-esque energy. You don't have to be a Virgo. It's kind of that, like, it's also kind of like that motherly, motherly trope of they kind of tell you or critique you because they care, because they want to see you do better. Like, they'll tell you to eat more vegetables because they want to see you, like, live a long and happy life. That's the feeling that you kind of evoke in other people. And it just feels like an up-leveling. Like, their whole life kind of becomes a little bit more filled, more nourished, more luxurious, extravagant, a little bit more homey, a little bit more full. So yeah, that's what I have for you. My pile number 1, the impact that you have on others, is one that's very much very positive. And again, depending on how close you are to people, because or how people take criticism as well, because again, you're going to be truthful and honest with what you say to people, but you're going to do it in a way that's really kind and caring, and helps them see the bigger picture, and then helps them again strategize to make sure that they get the necessary steps done and help fulfill their goals. Yeah. You're very inspirational. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope this resonated. Comment down below if it did. Leave a like if you'd like to. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for joining. Love you lots. Bye. Hi, pal 2. If you've chosen this Amazonite, and then this is your reading. So we'll get your energy and then move on to the question of what impact do I have on others. So you have the energy of connectivity right now, jeweled web. I remember shuffling for this pile. It was a little bit more distracted. So I feel like you're a little bit burnt out at the moment, as well as you have to keep a lot of connections with other people. And that's why you are burnt out. It feels like you're probably someone who's met more people in the last month or so. And because of that, you have a lot more relationships to keep up with. So yeah, that sounds like you. Then this is your reading. So what impact does my Amazonite pile have on others? My pile twos. What? Oh. You have it shall release. What impact does my pile twos? You also have Kuan Yin compassion. What impact? You have Netcaster. Preparations come to fruition. You also have Lost in Space, Needing Direction. And you also have Stranger, Curiosity. With the gemstones. What impact does my pile 2 have? Oh, that's funny. You have Pyrite, which is funny because Pyrite was the last pile. You also have Quartz. Yeah, okay. Sure, why not? Then you have Sodalite and Sugarlight, and then Herkimer Diamond as well. Let me just read the backs of these. Okay, this feels like my pile that's a bit more spiritually connected. That's a bit more into spirituality. This feels like my pile that has done past life regressions or who has understood a little bit more of who they are through their past. This is my pile. The impact that you have on others is one that helps guide and direct people who are a little bit more lost, a little bit more curious as well. You help them let go of the past. You help people compassionately kind of prepare for what's to come, and as well as help recognize the more fruitful way of life that they could live. It feels like this pile is very cleansing, very enhancing, very guiding, and very strong. And when I talk about strength, I am talking about kind of like the inner strength in tarot, the card strength tarot. In the sense of there's a lot of emotional management and understanding and radical compassion to the point where you tame a lot of more buried and negative emotions. Negative and harmful in the sense of these emotions are more prone to do actions that can have consequences that are not well received. And by that I mean, like, sometimes anger can result in outbursts, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, a lot of other topics that are not a wonderful aspect of life. Topics that are a little bit more sensitive, like essay, that's what I mean by how emotions can kind of get out of hand. It feels like you're someone who kind of helps release those emotions. It feels like you provide a safe space for people to understand those emotions, and without judgment, you compassionately take people in under your wing and help them release whatever has been trapped and stored that has been blocking them especially. That's definitely how it feels. It feels like you help people really block and understand the blocks that they have, as well as put in protective barriers and blocks to help them grow and give them more of an idea of how to move forward in a space that's a bit more comfortable to them. And these are all very vague terms, and I understand that. So I like using examples to make them a little bit more tangible. So how would I say this in an example? It would kind of be like you kind of give people a space for protection. So an example of this would kind of be like let's say someone wants to get into creating a gemstone store for themselves or start selling a business. You would be kind of the person that they would go to for advice, knowing what their knowledge levels are, knowing where they're at financially, knowing how to kind of progress them forward to the next steps of where they want to go, and take their business a bit more further. Kind of like that. You'd be like a mentor. Yeah, you get very mentor, very guiding, very very Gandalf kind of energy. Yeah. And it's 4:44 on the clock right now, so you definitely are someone that's very protected, and I feel like I need to remind that to you because of the work that you do. It feels like your life purpose here is to help others kind of release their karma, their bad karma, and produce more dharma, produce more. I don't want to say produce, as of more, you help people release a lot of things. You're in a lot of people's lives right now because you're helping them release a lot of the stored emotions that they had. I feel like you're a really great listener. You're someone who really helps give that space, hold space for others. Sorry, I'm thinking of all the wicked promotional videos and the memes revolved around that about holding space. Take my pinky. Sorry. But yeah, I feel like you're someone who does definitely help people have that opportunity to release and give them direction to where they want to go in life and how they want to continue in regards to the problems that they want to solve. I feel like you're a great listener, but you're also someone, as you're actively listening, giving them questions and pushing them into a space of thought that they have not, they didn't know they need to think about. And because of that, it helps them kind of get direction in regards to how to handle a problem or situation that they're dealing with in life. Again, this is very much, you're probably a tarot reader or you're probably just someone who's a very good friend, a very good classmate, family member, employee, employer. You're just someone who's a very great listener and a very great advice giver. Sorry about that, pile 2. Let's get back into your reading on what impact do you have on others? So, alright, let's get a little bit more of what impact does my pile 2 have on others. What impact does my pile 2 have on others? Please connect me back into pile 2 and the impact they have on others. Yeah, you have Ace of Swords. You also have the 6 of Pentacles. And you have the 4 of Swords. I feel like you're very generous with your time with the 6 of Pentacles here. It feels like it's kind of... It's like you're at a point in your life where you're giving back to others, and one way that you're doing so is this very angelic, transformative kind of illumination that you bring to others. So the impact that you bring onto others is one where when you're in their life, it feels like you're a big help, especially when it comes to finding things that they didn't even know themselves they had to work on, cutting things out that they didn't even realize, being aware of the way that they talk about themselves or talk about other people. Excuse me. It feels like you're someone who is very, very much, you bring the truth out, and you, through the generosity that you have with other people, through this kind of very charitable-esque way of giving your time, giving your energy, giving your presence, giving your words, your thoughts to other people, even your actions. You put them on to this more transformative path in their life. I think you highlight for them what's needed in terms of change. You also have the moon. Oh, that's just such a clarifier of how much you illuminate someone's path, how much you call it into attention, the way in which direction they need to go in, especially when they might not, especially when they're on a spiritual journey. It kind of feels like you bring them the ending that they need. You have the Four of Cups as well. Same with any kind of addictions that they might have. I know Four of Cups isn't normally about addictions. It's about like almost like refusing the call, or like unwillingly wanting to refuse a call. But it feels like in this scenario, in this specific scenario, that you help highlight what's needed to change, especially in regards to addictions, in regards to people drowning in their own emotions, in regards to people like living right. And I feel like you present this offering of this is a way to nourish the self. And I don't think you have to necessarily tell anybody what to do. I don't think you're out here like trying to like instruct people how to live their lives or dictate how they're living their life. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just by you being you. It's kind of like a more influencer-esque energy. So you might be an influencer, or you might just have a lot of influence on the other people in your life. And you do that by taking care of yourself. You do that by being a great example of what needs nourishment. You do that by holding boundaries and making sure that you have enough for yourself so that you can give to others. It kind of feels like I'm being drawn to this jar that's closed, and I don't know why I'm thinking about a sourdough starter, but that's the first thing that's coming up. And so it feels like you're kind of like that sourdough starter. You're just someone who kind of gives other people this momentum, you know. Sourdough starters are for breads, you know, like people use them to start their loaves because it's a lot easier. It gives it a richer taste, a more fermented taste, especially if you're going for like sourdough. I'm not a baker. I am not like I watch a lot of baking channels, but I'm not an expert on this. But the gist of the sourdough starter is to be someone who kind of gives a part of themselves to a new loaf. And I feel like that's just kind of like a metaphor for how you kind of give like the blueprint to other people so that they can start their new life, you know, and what they want to live. And I sometimes feel like it's not something people are too happy about. So sometimes they can be, they do this transformation from a point of jealousy. Like they'll see you have something that they want. And like sometimes it's very inspiring to a lot of people, and they will take that as momentum and a direction forward. Some people will get a little more, like people who aren't as emotionally controlled will take that and kind of make it very personal and unknowingly, because they're not doing this because they want to. They're doing this because they have unhealed emotions that they're still working through. They might send more like kind of like an evil eye energy, if you believe in that kind of thing. So just protect yourself. Make sure you're eating well. Make sure that you include salt in some of your meals. I know some people work with salt, but like it depends on how you go about your daily practice in life and your own spiritual regime, your everyday regime. I personally just like to add salt in my food. But like you can do other things, like you can have evil eye talismans or bracelets or protection stones, whatever makes you feel the most comfortable. But it doesn't have to be extravagant or anything like that, you know? All right. And I think the way you impact people is that they just don't expect how you're going to show up for them. It feels like you're someone who... It feels like you're someone who gives them this kind of exhilaration in how you move about life, especially the way you treat them. I don't think they felt as seen as they are with you. And sometimes it's just an unexpected thing, because in this day and age, people don't really feel like they can get into the deeper stuff, but they can with you. And sometimes that makes some people in your life really like attuned to you, and they kind of want you more than just a friend kind of way, if you get my gist. And yeah, the way you impact people in their life is so profound that they want to keep you in their life, and they want you to like be a forever friend for them, be someone that they can always like call upon and like have in their lives. Something that's like they want to see like a permanent relationship with you. They want to continue to be in your life as well as you in theirs. Yeah, it's kind of like that study where it's like, oh, if you're like within 15 feet of someone who's a good, say you're in school and you're studying and you're within 15 feet with someone who's a good student or performs well, you will inherently reap the benefits of them just doing them, because you see them as an inspiration, you see them as someone who's studying, and it kind of forces you to get into that mentality of, oh, this is a space of me studying, this is a space of me focusing, and you kind of feed off their focused energy in some ways. And that's how people see you, is this kind of transformation of them into doing habits that they want to do and seeing that it's possible through you. And yeah, so that is how you impact other people. It's the impact that you have on other people. Thanks so much for joining me on my Pile 2s, my Amazonite, amazing cuties. Yeah, thanks so much for joining me and being here and learning more about yourself. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and take care. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. If you've chosen this moon agate, this is your reading. Again, sorry about the lighting. Yeah. Okay. So we're looking at the question of what impact do you have on others? And this card is supposed to be more of like the energy that you're currently presenting yourself in. And you have the Divine Matrix, Galactic Mushroom. So I feel like you're someone who kind of brings this very spiritual, very occult-like energy to the table. It feels like you're someone who is also, oddly enough, grounded in the fact that like you can see things for what they are, and you can kind of have this protective energy about you that doesn't feel like you're off in the astral world. It feels like you have one foot on the ground and then one eye in the air. And it's this very like kind of like this I don't know why I want to say trippy. So you might identify as someone who likes to engage in paraphernalia, in kind of spiritual attainment through substances. You might do the ganja every day. And no judgment here, because I do that as well. But I think it kind of affords you this more interesting perspective, this more interesting nuance on life. And you're able to kind of look at life a little bit more holistically because of the way you like to engage with life. Yeah, and that's kind of the energy that's coming up for you right now. And it feels kind of like you are also in a hermit mode. You're someone who likes to be a little bit more introverted, likes to keep to themselves more. Not that you don't have people in your life, it's just that you choose to kind of you choose to like be with yourself and stick with yourself, and you like time by yourself. Yeah. I feel like you're someone who really enjoys just hanging out with yourself, doing whatever you want, getting into your little kind of obsessions and your little hobbies. Okay. You're just like you time, and I love that for you. So we're asking the question of what impact do you have on others, and you have the cards Fortune's Wheel and Drifter. Luck and right timing, experienced life has, yeah, because I feel like because you carry this energy of, you carry this energy of, actually I want to change this to this, of calmness, of peace, of protection, of groundedness. Because you carry that energy, the impact that you have on other people's lives is giving them this sort of presence, this sort of callback to the here and now. And I think you are kind of like a good luck charm to a lot of people. You show up in a lot of people's lives when they're like not the best scenario, and then you kind of are this angelic presence that gives them this positivity. And I just saw 444 on the clock, so it feels like you're kind of like this guardian angel for other people, where you kind of protect them and give them messages, because that's what angels really are, historically, is these messages that people would get. Again, it depends on your practice and your belief, but it feels like you're someone, I don't know if I'm saying that word right, so let me, 1 second. Yeah, okay. I wanted to say the word canonically. You're someone who canonically gives people this sense of form. And that's kind of putting a hat on a hat when I say that, because canonically is to give form and structure. But yeah, it's more of that word of, you give people this presence. The impact that you have on others is that when you're in their life, you give people this presence and this groundedness to really think through what they are going through. And then because people are so in the here and now with you, it gives them this kind of boost to do things that they need to get done, and be a lot more chill about it. Like, I feel like when like problems arise, when you're around, it doesn't feel like they're a really monumentous kind of turmoil. It's more like, oh, it's a problem that we can solve. It's a lot more chill. It's like, oh, like this is just a part of the game. This is a part of discovering what we need to discover at this time, the lessons that we need to learn at this time. For example, let's say your friend's having a problem with like someone they like, and then you, like, when they're talking about it to you, you kind of give them this like groundedness to be like, yeah, I understand, like this does hurt, and like it's very frustrating to be in this situationship with this person, But you'll say something like, oh, but maybe this gives you an opportunity to focus on why you like the person, what you like about them, and what you can do in your own life to dive deeper into those kind of qualities. For example, if the friend likes that person because they're very unique, and like they'll rave on about that situationship, being like, oh yeah, I've never met this person, like I've never met a person like this, they're so cool, they're so special, they're like have the coolest taste in music. You'll go along and be like, oh, is that true? Like, well, maybe this is a sign for you to get into music more, get into the unique qualities about you more, get into hobbies that they find cool and they find fun, and that they can love. And it's not just focused on this kind of limerence that this friend might have, but it's more focused on like the fact that there's a lesson in this frustrating situationship that your friend's in. And it's kind of like those scenarios where you're like this angelic being that you'll give an open space where you'll listen and you won't judge. But like you'll also do something where you'll give them practical advice, and you'll kind of help them become more empowered in the here and now to do things that they enjoy or that are more beneficial to their life. So what impact does my pile 3s have on others? What impact does my pile 3s have on others? You have segment reduction. Yeah. Okay, so and then you also have Cali fear. Interesting. I feel like you honestly, that's clear message. You reduce the fear in other people's lives. You bring this very protective space, and you show them that like it's possible to overcome your fears, not to ignore your fears, but to reduce what they have in their life, what's going on, and kind of be in the here and now so they can focus on overcoming whatever needs to come up, whatever fears that they're working through. It just feels like, it feels like you give this very protective energy to people, where people feel just really safe with you, and that really impacts them because they can finally start breathing the right way. Their whole parasympathetic nervous system comes back to life, and you provide that space for them to just kind of like take a sigh of relief. Oh, interesting. This is the card that is on the front of the deck. Okay. Oh, I love these stones. So the stones that you got are honey calcite. Ooh, a lot of calcite. Green calcite. As well as hematite. Yeah, even now I want to disclose like my own life with you, because I feel very, very heard in this group, even though like this can traverse time and space. This presence feels very warm, very nice, very open. Yeah, it feels like through you just being there and sitting with someone and helping them work through things, feels like you're very much like a therapist for a lot of people. You kind of help people break through the limits that they have. I feel like people who don't meditate and don't have the time to be with themselves a lot. When they're with you, like more extroverted people especially, will find this meditation within you, find this space where they can kind of think a little clearer, align with themselves a lot better, connect with their hearts especially a lot better. Especially like studying their own self through you, I think is something that's huge when it comes to the impact that you have on others. It feels like you kind of give meaning and help people give meaning to their lives, especially if they're going through an existential dilemma. It feels like you're someone, or like if they're really anxious or fidgety, it feels like you kind of give them that space to be whole. Okay, so you have the Four of Wands and then the Three of Wands. Then you have the High Priestess, which I'm not even surprised. Oh, this one's really cool. Look at this High Priestess. This is so cool. It has the it's a very modern design. I don't know if it shows up, but like you can see the pomegranates and then the phases of the moon, the different towers, as well as her tattoos having a lot of the High Priestess symbols. I think that's so cool. And I think that's you as well. I think you exhibit this kind of energy of the High Priestess, of being this really like, you are really spiritual, but you do it in a very cool way. You don't like do it just in a way that's all like love and light. I think you've gone through the depths, you've gone through your shadows, and you've come out at the other side recognizing both of them are very much needed in spiritual growth. And it kind of empowers others to look at their own spirituality in a way that's a lot more enticing, a lot more cooler, a lot more like trendy, hip, whatever. For you, it's not a trend, obviously. But for other people that normally don't engage in spiritual practices, they'll look at you and be like, oh, that's not as scary as I thought it was. That's a lot more alluring. That's a lot more satisfying. That's a lot more meaningful than I thought this was going to be. For example, if you do a tarot card reading on someone, it might very much impact them profoundly into being more aware of who they are, being more aware of the emotions that are coming up and how they are responding to them or reacting to them. And it just kind of gives a lot of people this this feeling of possibility and this feeling of wonderment. No matter what circumstance they're in, it feels like you just provide this very uplifting and celebratory and exploratory kind of presence for people to really dive in to who they are and why they're here. You get people a lot more into their spiritual side, a lot more into their self-discovery, a lot more into their own essence by you being yourself again. What impact? Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm not even surprised that this one came up. So that card says, what lessons have you learned from past romantic relationships that will carry with you to the next? Yeah, and I feel like that's what you kind of give to others. You give them that understanding of their relationships, of why things have ended, of the past, and in that way you show up as this really really insightful friends, very caring friends. All right. And this friend that's very much not judgmental, someone who you can just kind of talk to about almost anything, especially intimate moments. It feels like the impact that you have on others is this very clearing, cleansing, and then soothing impacts, where it feels like you're kind of like oats. You're kind of used when people need to reduce inflammation in their life. It's kind of like when people, again, are going through that trouble, you give them that calmness that they're seeking. You give them that wholeness that they're seeking. You give them the energy of being self-aware and being present in the moment. And that is truly a gift, to be on the spiritual level where you just even talking to someone brings them into a space of clarity, into the space of awareness. And again, you don't have to be super spiritual. You don't have to be like feeling like woo-woo about it. That's not your vibe. Your vibe isn't like the woo-woo kind of spirituality. Your vibe is like, oh, like there are things we can do every day that we didn't even know were spiritual, that are spiritual. Like, you know, blowing birthday candles. That's spiritual. That's actually very witchy. It's like literally spellcraft right there. Things like celebrating holidays, like the winter solstice. People do that as Christmas or like winter holidays. And because, you know, Christianity kind of plucked that kind of celebration from the pagans. But anyways, it feels like the way that you do things in regards to spirituality is a lot more grounded, a lot more applicable to people's lives. It's kind of more like wellness, I want to say. I feel like if you were to brand yourself, it wouldn't be spirituality. It'd be more like in a wellness-based center where people are focusing on attaining this kind of peace and tranquility within themselves. Yeah. And you provide them with this very intimate and open, honest conversation with themselves. So that's what I have for you today. My pile threes, my camera died, so I'm so sorry. There's just an image that's put up. But yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Hi, pile four. If you've chosen the serpentine, then this is your reading. Yeah. Okay. So this is the energy that you're in right now. Apologies. I don't know why my camera just did that, but it just died for a second. But yeah, it feels like you are very focused. And right now you are taking a break. You're taking a rest. It feels like you're just very alive at this moment, but you're very tired as well. Because you're putting so much effort into your life. And again, it doesn't have to necessarily be one thing. Because of the 4 needles here, it can actually be multiple things that you're putting a lot of your energy into. But it's kind of draining you out a little bit. I think you have a good handle on it because you know how to take breaks and you know how to take care of yourself. But I think you just have a lot of focus of like go, do. Make sure that this is done. You know, make sure that I'm prepped, that I'm ready, that like that I am here. Let me look at serpentine. Okay. So this was marketed as jade, but jade could also be marketed as like it is also something called new jade, which is a type of serpentine, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, this stone is for protection. It's supposed to align all the chakras, calming the body. But it has a particular connection with the crown chakra, enhancing wisdom and retrieving lost memories. Yeah, I just feel like right now you're trying to make sure like you're getting the most out of your life. You're only in this reading right now just to kind of like balance yourself a little bit, because you're doing so much work, because you are having so much energy and focus into what's going on around you. Okay, so let's go into the reasons of why you impact others, or what impact you have on others. You have horned cactus, resourcefulness, the wall, obstacles, lay of the land, ancestral wisdom. And if I can get one more, please, I would really... Thank you. You have meat talks, preparing the body, mind, spirit. Okay, the way you impact others is that you are very balanced. Any obstacles that come your way, you are someone who knows how to kind of maneuver around them. You know how, like, if let's say that you're in a business and this client wants a piece that's a little too expensive for their budget, you'll go find something that's very similar, if not even better than what they were looking for. You know, any problems that arise, I feel like you're someone who knows how. You know what kind of card you remind me of? You remind me of the Magician, because you know how to pull from different resources. You know how to network. You know how to get the things that you need. Like, manifestation probably comes very easy to you. I don't think you even need to really like do a lot of things to manifest well. There are some people in this world that just kind of get things, you know. It's just a snap. It's just they think it's there. It's they think it, they do it, they got it, you know. I see it, I want it, I got it, you know. That very Ariana vibe of I forget the song name, which is really bad because it's such a famous song. I think it's called Rings, or like, oh damn, it's been a while since I've listened to this album. Seven Rings. So you have that you have the song Seven Rings kind of like down packed. You see it, you like it, you want it, you got it, kind of deal. And the impact that you have on others is that you help bring them those things, you know, because you find things a lot more like easier to kind of get into your life. You'll pass that through to other people. It kind of feels like you're this kind of like gift bringer in a way. And it's because you're at a point in your life now that it feels a lot more secure. I feel like you have a lot of things going for you. I think in terms of the Maslow hierarchy of needs, I feel like you're basically at the top. You're like self-actualized. If not, you're just kind of like in the realm of you've worked on a lot of the things, like you have a stable like job, or you have a stable home life. You have the resources that you need. You have the belonging, the love, the care, the security in yourself, where you can just kind of do your thing. And it's not like you don't have bad days. It's not like you don't have a lot on your plate. It's just, I feel like you're a little more far along than most people are in regards to their life. And I think with that kind of gift, with that kind of lifestyle, with that kind of privilege, whatever you'd like to call it, because, you know, I feel like you also worked hard for it. I think you are in a position where you can be the middleman for people who need things. Yeah. because you intentionally know how to put your focus in places where other people can't, it feels like you're that middle person to be like, oh, you said, like, if you had a conversation with a friend and they were like, yeah, like, I really like this, I really like this drink, but like, I don't want to get it for myself. I don't know what scenario I'm coming up with in my head, but like, it's kind of like your friend doesn't know how to get something, so you'll like be the middleman for them and be like, oh, like, this is how you'll do it. Or you'll just kind of do it and be like, oh yeah, I got you this thing that you asked for. I got you this drink that you're asking for like a couple days ago. Yeah, let's say like your friend is like, oh yeah, I want to get this drink, but it's sold out everywhere. Every time I go to the grocery store, I can't find this particular drink. And then it just so happens the next couple of days you're grocery shopping, and what do you find? You find that drink. So you'll buy a few of them for your friend and be like, yeah, I got you this because you're telling me how hard it was for you to find it. You'll be that person, you know? Like, things just kind of fall into your lap easily, and then you'll share your abundance with other people, which is absolutely just this gorgeous, very whole, very warm kind of presence that you have. And I think you've accumulated a lot of things in your life to attain this sort of abundance, but you also have a lot of past lives, if you believe in past lives, where you have worked your way to this point. Yeah, with this ancestral wisdom, lay of the land, it feels like you have a lot of knowledge in your storage unit, in your, I don't know how to say this, you just have a lot of knowledge within yourself, from this life, from previous lives, again, if you believe that, as well as from the lives of your ancestors, genetically, the wisdom that was passed down through your bloodline. And I'm saying that because, like, if you look at some species on Earth, like, I think there's this like bird that this is very vague, so I'm sorry if you can't fact check this, but like, I just remember seeing in this documentary that there's this type of bird who only lives for like 10 years, and they migrate to this certain place on Earth that doesn't always have the right conditions to migrate in. I think it goes like high tide, low tide. So like ancestrally, this bird has passed down the directions of where to go during what tide it is to survive the next generation. You know, it's kind of like that kind of sense of survival instincts that have been passed down from your ancestors, so you can perform and do better now in this lifetime. I can also say this in, you know how you play video games and like you'll have a character, but like that character will die a bunch of times, but like after it's died a bunch of times, it's because like you learned a lot of ways to kind of play that character in the game. That's how it feels like with you now. It feels like you have a lot of lifetimes that you've played, and you've accumulated that wisdom through those lifetimes, so that now when you're playing, you can go about the world in a way where you have this hidden wealth of knowledge that you didn't even know of. Also, the impact that you have on other people's lives is being able to be this inspiration of balance. With this Me Talks, preparing the body, mind, spirit, I'm not even surprised that it came up, because you're someone who, again, felt very balanced. Like you know how to turn your focus on and when to turn your attention back inwards to rest. And it's very inspiring for others, because they're like, oh, like, you know, you don't need to always be on the ball. Like, it's actually more beneficial for you to sleep the proper hours. Yeah, It is. It's kind of like when Japan recognized, oh, maybe we should only give a certain hour a week kind of employment model to our citizens because they'll perform better in less time, you know? That's how it feels. Oh, I love this for you. I love Pele. I love Pele so much. But you have Rhiannon, self-trust, and Pele, purpose. So you give people that confidence. The impact that you have on others is one where, like, you're so confident in yourself that it empowers others. It reminds people, hey, like, why can't I trust myself? Why can't this be my purpose? Why can't I live out the life that I want to live? Why can't I do the things that I want to do? You just give a lot of self-trust, a lot of inspiration to empower others to live the life the way they want it. So what impact does my Pile Force have on others? If I can just get less cards, I would very much appreciate that. So you have Sugarlight. Stretch the limits of your imagination. Yeah. I really don't think that you let anything kind of get you down. I think that you're someone who, if you see an obstacle, you just kind of maneuver around it, or you find solutions that are very easy to kind of either avoid the obstacle or overcome the obstacle. Oh, yeah, Malachite. Of course you have Malachite. And then you have Celestite. Yeah, okay. So with Malachite and Celestite, you also are this very transformative energy. This, I feel like whoever tunes into my channel are these very angelic, transformative people. But in your specific instance, it's through this, it's through this kind of concrete and serene way of pushing yourself into kind of doing the things that you need to do. You have this willpower about you that really inspires others to recognize that they also carry it. I feel like, again, your abundance is high. And if you don't feel like you are, I'm here to say that you are. I'm here to say there's too many cards here that point to you being in this position of wealth, of abundance, of success, whatever that means to you. You know, that could be like, you might not monetarily be making as much as you want to right now, but you might have a lot of time, a lot of free time that is very valuable and precious, and you get to decide on what you're doing that day. That could be a form of success. Or you might actually just be like monetarily very successful, or you might have a very large network that you can communicate with that helps you afford this success. There's a lot of different ways in which success can be qualified, I guess. But whatever way that is for you, it feels like you give people this very inspiring, empowering motivation to get to your level. And it's not like they're not at your level. There are just things about your life that I think they very much are inspired to do the same with. But yeah, I feel like you're, again, because you know how to detox well, it feels like you're someone, again, who you work hard for the money. Yeah, I'm hearing that song. You work hard for the money, but you also know how to relax and then take some time for you to make sure that you're doing well and that you can sustain whatever you're doing right now. And again, I just feel like you're someone who is you're very spiritually gifted, but I don't think it's in the way that's like that's stereotypical of what the spiritual community calls gifted. I don't think you're like out here trying to like you're not trying to like pull the rug over someone's eyes. You're not trying to like trick anybody. You're not trying to like just honestly say anything about yourself. It's like you're trying to practice your spirituality in a more, I'd like to say, in a more manifestation route, in a more economic commerce sense, in a more drive for success. You know how like there's a lot of different sects of new age spirituality where it's like, oh, some people are working on like self-development, some people are working on manifestation, some people are working on past lives. It feels like you're someone who's working on more of that like resourceful attainment, even though you already have it. And I feel like it's something you've already mastered, to be honest. I feel like your spiritual practice is more in tune with being able to manifest and recall and then be grateful. I think gratitude's a huge part of your practice as well, because like it feels like that's what affords you even more success, to be honest. But like that's for a few of you. If you don't resonate with that, that's totally fine. That could be either this is not your reading or this is it's not the time yet for this reading, if that makes sense. Okay, so we have the Knight of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Three of Swords, the King of Cups reverse, the Seven of Swords reverse, and then the Seven of Cups. I definitely feel like you're someone, again, who protects and heralds this kind of newness, this change, in a way that defies a lot of stereotypes. I feel like you are someone who doesn't really need, I feel like people see you as competition, but like you're not really in competition with them. You're not trying to be in competition with them anyways. It feels like you're just kind of doing your thing. And people are either inspired by that, empowered by that, or see you as a threat to whatever they're doing. I feel like you're a real heartbreaker as well. Not only a real heartbreaker, but a heart mender. With this Three of Swords particularly, in this deck, it feels like you're someone who... I feel like you find success through transformation. I'm thinking about... the thing that's coming to mind is Khloe Kardashian's Revenge Body TV series. I've never personally watched it. I've just heard of it. But it's a very interesting idea of having people work towards their revenge body. Like that body that like they want their ex to be like, damn, like I let that go. I was stupid enough to let that go. And it's like, yeah. And I feel like that's how you transform yourself. And that's also how you transform others. Again, it's very empowering energy of you're not just going to do things stereotypically. You're not gonna coddle people's emotions. You're going to give them options. You're going to give them ways in which they can see the route that they're going through, as well as you're kind of someone who gives them motivation to do well. I'm hearing you're an apex predator. So I feel like you just you carry this very royal, this very regal, this very like high status energy about you, whether you feel like you actually are or not. It's just more to say like people, like that's the impact that you have on others. People feel like you're very high status, and so that either makes them want to attain high status where you're at, or it can empower them again to be where you are, or it can make them a little bit wary and see you as competition. But yeah, I don't think with the Seven of Swords here, I don't think it's competition for you. It doesn't really feel like competition for you. You have, yeah. Wow, okay. Of course. So I feel like you're a great friend to the people in your life. I feel like they very much value you. I feel like you cheer them up after they're having a hard time. I feel like you help kind of process lessons that they're going through and give them like a sound, nurturing advice. But I also feel like you give them this openness, this intimacy, this vulnerability to kind of be themselves and explore their desires, explore who they are, explore what they want in life. Yeah. So overall, your impact is just absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I think you just carry this very confident vibe about you, and people are very drawn to that. People find that very impactful. This kind of ambitiousness, this drive, but also this very balanced form of self-care and self-rest, and doing the things that you love, as well as, impacting others and kind of pushing others to do the same. Those that are, mature enough to see the beauty and the light and the shadows that you bring to their lives. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this resonated. And have a great day. Take care. Bye.